It's your boy back again to talk about Xenoblade Chronicles 3 because I really want to. Cringe intro aside, yes, if my unscripted sort of like rant video wasn't clear enough, I'm excited for Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Only 7 months, man, that's insane, huh? But yeah, anyway, I went over all that, all my excitement in the rant. I still don't know what to call it. Rants gives it sort of a negative connotation, saying it was a all negative video, but sounding off, I guess. No, that's never mind. Anyway, today I'm talking like this is sort of a scripted thing, but no, I'm clearly off script as you can tell. I wanted to talk about the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles 3 because we already know their names and what they look like. And if you don't know anything about me, it's that when it comes to media or whatever, video games included, my top priority is always the characters. If there's a very engaging, likeable cast of characters, I feel like they can really carry the story, even if like a story isn't that good. Which the cast in Chronicles 2 really did well. And that's not to say Chronicles 2 has a bad story or anything. No, I think very highly of it. But that's just to prove my point, really. No, whatever. But yeah, I mean, it's kind of like in the original Xenoblade Chronicles where the story was great, but in my opinion, the cast of characters wasn't really that strong. I mean, you other than like Shulk and Fiora, obviously, the rest of them, I guess Melia too. The rest of them didn't really strike a chord with me, I guess you could say. But yeah, anyway, I want to talk about the characters in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, as I've already mentioned, because I'm repeating myself. This is what I'm like when I just go off script. But hey, these videos are more like they're fun to make in a way. But yes, I have my notes down here, so I'm not rambling like an idiot the entire time. So, I mean, without further ado, let's begin, I guess. We first have who's the first character we see in the trailer, of course, obviously. Noah. Noah is Noah's going to be the main protagonist of the game, much like the second character, who we'll get to in just a moment. And yeah, he's going to be main protagonist, much like Shulk and Rex was prior. I guess Alma too, but I mean, you can argue that Alma wasn't really the main protagonist of Xenoblade Chronicles X, but let's be honest here, she really was. She was. But yeah, Noah. He's, in terms of design, he's not that personally, I don't find him that appealing in design-wise. But hey, I mean, the adage of "don't judge a book by its cover" forever reigns supreme. So I'm not putting all my eggs in one basket just yet. But his role in the game, apparently, I mean his role in the story at least, is an officer, which his position is just to mourn the lost lives, that are lost in war. War obviously being like the, which I assume is going to be a very prominent thing in Xenoblade Chronicles 3, given how like it mentions Noah says in the trailer how we fight to live to fight, implying that war is a very common thing in that world. So yeah, that's a pretty interesting, kind of rather like dark sort of premise for the character, I guess. Because beforehand, we say with Shulk, he was just a guy who loved tinkering with crap, just a sort of engineer, if you will. And with Rex, he was a salvager. But for Noah to have this sort of like, it's kind of a contrast, really, which should be interesting to see. and we can also see that his weapon it bears a striking resemblance to the Monado in terms of how it looks, really. Which I don't remember who. So actually, I'll probably have it on the screen if I can find it again. But this person mentioned how, well, theorized that maybe in the future, after the events of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, Shulk became a weapon designer, and you know, he obviously designs this weapon. That's I mean, we'll get to see. Obviously, maybe it's just I don't. When we're saying it's like Xenoblade Chronicles, I don't think it's just going to be a mere coincidence that it bears a resemblance. No. I think it's going to be have a bit more layering in there. See, this is what happens. I scan thoughts and such. But yeah, like I was saying, the Monado, it bears a striking resemblance to it in terms of design, and I imagine it'll probably fight much like Monado, having like certain arts you can use to debuff enemies and buff your own party. Obviously acting much like a great sword, but I don't know in a sense. But no, it looks really cool, and the idea of Shulk becoming this weapons manufacturer, I mean, the main cast of both games are long gone by this point, apart from two certain characters, which I've touched on I've mentioned. Yes, man, we're 6 minutes in, we're only one character in. Okay, but yeah, I'm excited to see what Noah has in store. I'm hoping he's a very engaging protagonist, because like the worst thing you can do is make a very bland, uninteresting protagonist as your main one. Not to name any examples, because I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but I'm just saying that's never a good idea. But second up, the most interesting one, well, at least in my opinion anyway, Mio. This character I incorrectly dubbed as Nia in my initial video where I talked about the reveal trailer. Well, I was just under the impression that, oh, maybe this is just Nia after she's joined the party at a later point, but no. This is a different character entirely, like I also mentioned that she could be. Mio. Yes, she's a blade, it appears, from the core crystal you can see on her chest, and she's also the second main protagonist of Xenoblade Chronicles 3, which is interesting because in prior we've only had one main protagonist. Shulk in 1, Rex in 2, and you've had the supporting cast. It's really weird to call Pyro a supporting character, but you get the idea. But yeah, Noah and Mio are going to be the central main protagonists of Xenoblade Chronicles 3. Which is going to be really interesting that we've actually got 2 now instead of just 1, but either way. Yes, she is... Not much is really known about her yet, obviously. But other than the fact she is a blade, and other than her striking resemblance to Nia. I hope that doesn't interrupt the recording. Anyway, yeah, striking resemblance also in the fact that she uses twin rings, which Nia uses in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 as her main weapon when Dreadmark's equipped. And yeah, I mean, it's going to be really interesting to see what connection Mio has to Nia, because in Xenoblade Chronicles 2 there's this whole thing of where like a blade can be what's the word I'm looking for? The driver's influence of a blade can like change that blade, whether it be just personality wise or even appearance. So in that sense, it's gonna be really interesting. Like I said, it's gonna be really interesting to see what connection she does have to Nia. Whether she fights for Agnes or the other words are escaping me right now. Yeah, the other team, I guess, to put it simply. But no, yes, words. Yeah, Mio is, again, my apologies for saying that, oh yeah, this is Nia, oh, this must be Nia in the future. But this being Mio does like make Nia's eventual reveal more interesting. And Mio being present at all is interesting in itself, because notice how she bears resemblance both to Rex and Nia. Rex in the department of like her eyes, the Leftherian eye color. Whether that's, I don't think that's exclusive to Leftherians. I might have said that wrong. Stated that wrong in a tweet even. I don't do a lot of research, as you can tell. Nah, that's a lie. But my point being, I speculated that maybe Mio is the child of both Nia and Rex, and you can say, well, hang on, this isn't possible because it's in Xenoblade Chronicles 2. It stated that well, blades aren't born with those reproductive organs, so how is this even possible? Nia is a flesh eater. She's fused with human cells, so there's always a possibility that that whole flesh eater idea, of humans being able to, make children with, there's no adequate way of putting this, have the sex with flesh eaters. Maybe that would be explored, that whole new relationship type of thing. That would be really interesting. There's so much interesting things to see right now. And we're only 2 characters in. I don't have much to say about the other 4, but anyway. Moving on for now. Lance, or probably Lance. Lance, as I proceed to say it wrong. Lance, an ally of Noah, and this big badass brute looking guy. Bloody hell, it's there's really not much to say of it, because we don't really see much of him in the trailer other than like maybe a couple shots. I don't think he says anything either. But he looks really cool, and he uses a great sword that also functions as a shield, kind of. That's going to be interesting to see. Though it does kind of make a character, the last character I'm talking about, seem a little redundant in that sense, where, well, it's a weapon that can just serve as 2, but a great sword that can serve as a shield. I'm trying to think about how that would work, how that would look. Speculation Mania is running wild right now. That's a wrestling reference if I've ever heard one. But yeah, it's gonna be really interesting to see. That's just the tagline of this video. It's going to be really interesting to see. Not much to say about Lance just yet, but I'm sure we will in due time. 4th, Yuni, a childhood friend of Noah Lance, who I think the internet has dubbed to be best girl already from the amount of fan art I've seen already. Good lord, you artists are quick. If I put any fan art on screen, I will credit whose fan art I have put up. Obviously, I'm not just going to steal fan art, okay? I just claim it's my own. No, that's awful. That's an awful thing to do. Never mind. I'm not going inside right now. Anyway, yes, Yuni. She's a very, I guess, an interesting character again. Much like Mio I said earlier, because she's high end tier. Well, she appears to be high end tier anyway, because of the wings you can see on her head, which is a mark of high end tier in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. So it's going to be interesting to. I gotta think of other words to use. God, come on, we use other synonyms. Shut up. Anyway, it's gonna be. I really want to see what connection she has to Melia, because she's the other one faction. I forget the name of her faction, but you get the idea. And much like Sharla in Chronicles 1, she's going to be a healer who's, well, a sniper also. A healer sniper, as I put it in my notes here. Hyphenated, of course. And, I don't know, it's always funny to me just having a sniper just heal you where just like shooting you in the back or whatever, kind of like Ana in Overwatch, or the aforementioned Sharla in Xenoblade Chronicles 1. I remember Sharla not exactly being a fan favorite character to use because of her playstyle. But let's just hope that Uni, they kind of like work around that. Uni make it a lot more fun to play, give it I don't know, more fast-paced battle style, I guess, is the term I'm looking for. Yeah, like, we get to have another high entity in the party who I'm dreading might get cucked over by Noah, because, childhood friend of Noah, because, okay, well, I mean, childhood friend Noah, so there's a bit of that childhood, romance there, you can work off. Yeah, the whole girl next door type deal, I don't know what that relationship is called. But, man, let's just hope, much like Mania in Chronicles 1, she doesn't get cucked over by the main pro tag again, because that would just be like 2-0 for 0-2 for high end tier in the Chronicles series. Next up we got Tyon, who, oh my god, this dude, man. Tactician who fights alongside Mio, so obviously there's some kind of relationship between those two, what is beyond me, but maybe they're just, combat allies, maybe there's more there, but we'll get to see that eventually. He looks like a smug asshole, the smart ass, kind of like Akos in Chronicles 2. But what's so funny and okay, it's not really, what's funny and like really cool at the same time about Tyon, I haven't pronounced that, I apologise, is his way of combat, I guess. Origami birds. How do you even how do you even explain that beyond just it's origami? I mean, you got Noah using just a great sword, if you will. You got Mio using twin rings. You got Lance using another great sword. Uni using your sniper. This dude just using bloody origami. Like, that's so campy, but so cool in concept. Like, I mean, paper cuts alone, that'll do you in. So maybe that's the idea behind it, but all jokes aside, I do genuinely think it's a really cool, thing to see. The animations on those attacks are going to be so cool to watch as well. Just it's so cool in concept, but it is just inherently funny, sort of. But he does, I mean, I ain't got much to say about his weapon class or whatever. What would his weapon class be? I don't think they're just gonna refer to his weapon class as origami, because that'd be a bit on the nose. But yeah, he's definitely one of the most interesting characters that we've seen so far in terms of fighting style, and I imagine it's gonna be a lot of fun to use, if a little complicated. Finally voice crack there, jeez. Finally we have Cena, who is an ally of Mio and Tyon, and is also a blade, who, again, we can see from the core crystal on her chest. Yeah, she's really interesting. I mean, I really need more words than just interested, but you get the idea of what I'm trying to get out here. Yeah, another blade party member who isn't, who isn't just a supporting party member, who's just a main party member, much like Mio from earlier. I imagine she's similar to a flesh eater in that regard. I don't know if they'll have blades in XE3. Maybe there's a whole thing of the blades have become independent now, thanks to the rise in flesh eaters. In terms of numbers, so maybe that's the idea behind Cena and Mio. It's a dark twist, but also a sort of very intriguing one at the same time, But anyway, yeah, another Blade party member. That's kind of be fun to see. And she also wields the shield hammer. If you don't know about the shield hammer, in XE2, it is easily one of the worst weapon classes there is. It's very slow attacking rate, it's got slow charging arts, and it's just not a whole. It's not fun to use. In other words, I mean, you got blades like Electra, Godfrey on it, just not exactly great blades. All by themselves, just made worse by the fact that they use a shield hammer. So you know, but I'm hoping they can find some sort of workaround to make the shield hammer like fun to play. I know it's supposed to be a more defensive weapon class, which, you know, that's fair enough. But again, the main issue people have with it in XE2 is just its slow rate of attack and such. So, I mean, it is apparently Cena is like just tremendously strong. So, I mean, I don't know, the idea of this like little girl just being stupidly powerful, that's always going to be funny. So hopefully the whole attacking rate thing is recommended, because I mean, to be fair, if you put the shield hammer class on characters like Morag or Zeke, it is slightly faster because, you know, they're stronger. So maybe Cena being like just super powerful, that will get around it, hopefully. But we'll just have to wait and see. But yeah, those are the characters, the main cast we're going to be seeing. Main cast is 6, which is a return to form, I guess you could say, because Xenoblade Chronicles 1 had a cast of 6. Shulk, Fiora, Dunban, Ryan, Charlotte, and Ricky. Shulk, Dunban, Charlotte, Ricky, Ryan, and Melia, sorry. I forgot Melia, my bad. So yeah, that's just 6 for XE1. XE2 only had 5 in Rex, the Tor, Morg, and Zeke. But again, it feels so weird to call the main cast of Blades just not main party members, if you really think about it. But in all fairness, like, the smaller main cast in terms of, you know, playable characters was made up for by just the 52 rare blades. So yeah, we're gonna cast a 6 again. That should that'll be fun. I mean, it'll definitely be better than XEX anyway, which only had a main cast of 3. I mean 2 if you really want to get technical about it, in Lunar Alma. But yeah, anyway, I think we're done here. I apologize for myself rambling on again, but like, I'm so excited for this game, man. I love Xenoblade, and if I have a chance to just, you know, ramble on for however bloody long about the series, then you bet your ass I'm gonna take that opportunity. Yes, so thank you for joining me on my ramblings. I cannot wait. 7 months just cannot come quick enough.